It gets kicked off a bridge. Oh, look at that. It's still there. Sorry. Anyways.
Welcome in, everybody. This is our exclusive, very special review episode. You can check us out on youtube.com/@sign Garage Talk Podcast. We always do our little reviews on the YouTube because I think that's where review people are supposed to do things at.
Maybe.
No, that's what we do here. So that's if you want to watch this, if you want to watch our facial reactions to the things, the shock that we have when we talk about the Fallout show,
Or just a YouTube video that won't have ads.
That's true.
Yeah.
We
ad free.
It's ad free. We license all of our stuff in house, so you don't ever have to worry about ads harassing you.
That's the reason. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is our Fallout TV show discussion for all 8 episodes of season 1 on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
We probably will have a few minor spoilers for the video games as well thrown in there, just because you can't talk about the show without the source material, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we're going to be spoiling the entire story of the television show. So if you haven't watched it, again, why did you click on this video? Why did you click on this podcast episode? It doesn't make sense.
It's your fault.
It's your fault. So
yeah,
get out if you haven't finished it. We're spoiling everything starting now. What a great show! I mean, we had our hesitations, going into it, but within the first 5 minutes, literally the first 5 minutes, when the first explosion happened, I'm all the way in.
Yeah.
I'm all the way in. The writing is so great on this, and there's so much character just in the first few minutes with Walter Goggins, is that his name? Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
So much character there in the first part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say, I think he definitely carries the show. I don't think they could have gotten literally anybody else to play that part and been as successful as they have.
Yeah, I was surprised. Do you guys know him from anything else?
He's
The only thing, literally the only thing I know, every time I see him as this character in the movie Shanghai Noon.
Yeah.
He's the Western bandit that betrays Royal Bannon. Spoiler for that movie. It's the first 5 minutes of that movie. But anytime I see him in anything, I can't that's Walton Goggins. To me, it's just the character from Shanghai Noon, and that's the only thing I know him from.
Yeah.
And
another great movie.
Fantastic.
Vice Principals.
HBO. I would say this show erases everything. He is now the Ghoul.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Forever.
this I think is gonna be it's his the pinnacle for him.
His magnum opus. For sure.
I'm happy for him.
It's gonna be known for.
Yeah. So structure-wise, just gonna episode by episode.
Not even. We're just gonna talk about the whole show. Yeah, there's 8 episodes. We can't go, plot point by plot point. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
Yeah. The Ghoul.
Let's just talk things we liked.
Oh, I think they nailed the Fallout kind of silliness, but also the kind of the gravity of this post-apocalyptic world, and that it's such a weird combining of those two. Like, having been a Fallout fan for a while now, it's so weird when you're playing this game and everything's so scary, because everything can kill you in that game. And then you walk up to characters and they say the most outlandish things, the silliest shit, and the way they were able to kind of bring that and put it on my television, screen that way, they nailed it. That was what I was worried that they would miss,
Mm-hmm.
and
nope, they got it down.
crushed it. They crushed it. I was like, I couldn't even Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's one of my favorite parts was when the robot, when the Ghoul gave our main character to the little pharmaceutical place, and she's like, "Oh, I thought you were going to sell me into sex slavery." He's like, "Oh God, no, that's terrible. I'm just going to harvest your organs." It's that kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
I couldn't have asked for what's the actor's name? That played the Mr. Handy in this.
Matt Berry.
Matt Berry.
Yeah.
That guy is so fucking funny.
He got his own little cameo too.
Yeah.
In one of the flashbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, that character's so funny. I watched What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah, he's big on that.
Super funny show.
Lots
but-
of British shows he's been on.
Yeah.
The IT Crowd. It used to be on Netflix. A really great, funny show. Great in that, and now it was nice to see him actually his face actually be in the show after his voice had already been there, and then make a joke about like kind of nudging that he got a voice in something in real, like, you know, their conversation, like, oh, they made me a voice of they made my voice of the thing, and they didn't pay me a lot of money, but like, well, they said you could have a free robot. I don't know. It was just funny.
Yeah.
It's a super funny interaction there too.
Yeah.
But I loved for the whole show. I mean, we could talk about things we loved all day. The aesthetic of it too, not just the kind of the vibe that you were talking about, but the way it looked felt not cheap. It didn't feel like a cheap television production. It felt real. I loved that. I loved all the characters. The writing was great. My other favorite quote, and this will be the last time I quote anything today, but
I'll quote you on that.
it resonated. It resonated so much with as a video game player as well too. Over the Ghouls, talking about the golden rule of the wasteland is thou shalt be sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time. He said that. I was just like, yes, I get it. That's like, it was just it perfectly summed up everything. But yeah, everything about the show, I loved Ella Purnell, the lead. She was great. I loved the action and kind of gore that they had with it, which is awesome. It just set the stage for this whole story, and they were able to successfully tell a very, I feel like, impactful and dramatic story in this kind of, I don't want to say cartoonish apocalyptic world, but this
satirical.
kind of satirical apocalyptic world. And I think they blended everything together perfectly, and it was wonderful.
I think
Sorry, I didn't.
You're good. I did have one. So speaking of the Ghouls quote there, I've seen a lot of memes though of pointing out Norm, played by Moses. Moses Arias. Arias? I don't know.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. He's the character just following the main quest line the whole time. Like they're like, you know, she's like, you can't come with me. I wouldn't want to, you know, sort of thing, like all this stuff, and then him just kind of like tracking this whole kind of conspiracy down until he finds his answer, sort of thing. But yeah, the memes about him just being the main character that plays just the main quest line and that's it was also hilarious. But speaking of the main story, the one critique I had was I thought it was like it was played out well enough that it's not doesn't break the show for me by any means. It wasn't, you know, the final season of Game of Thrones or anything like that. But this idea that, you know, Vault-Tec dropped the bombs, I'm not a big fan. Wasn't a big fan of that idea because, you know, they're a corporation. They make money by selling vaults. And when you drop the bombs, all of a sudden you can't sell vaults anymore. You can't make money. So it just seemed weird. And I always kind of liked the idea that, you know, the bombs were kind of just like one of those, you know how many times like during the Cold War where there was almost a button pushed, you know?
Yeah,
sort of
well,
thing.
this whole thing is very like Cuban Missile Crisis when
everybody just kind of Mexican standoff with their
like it's gonna happen. I don't know when, but
and I kind of would have liked just a story where it's just like, yep, somebody just overhyped and pushed the button, and then that's when everybody overreacted and everybody just pushed buttons, sort of thing.
Well,
I like that idea more.
Well,
But they told this conspiracy, I think, well enough. Again, I was not upset.
Wasn't the thing is like, well, they're gonna push the button and then when they come out of the vaults, they'll still be they'll be even more in control. Maybe is what I think they're going for. Yeah, I don't know.
And I mean, they kind of set up the whole idea that they'll also be able to run experiments and find out like what's gonna best keep them in positions of power and stuff. So again, I don't think it was. They didn't do it poorly. I think they made that twist they made it work. But I just personally would have liked it to have just been, yep, it was just a one of those that like the Cold War, had it been somebody just was like, oh shit, and pushed a button, and then everybody went, oh god, and then everybody's pushing buttons. I would have liked that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bad things just happen, sort of deal, as opposed to this big kind of conspiracy. But I think it's a very minor critique, if I'm being honest.
I don't know the way you would. You say it's a minor critique, but that's a pretty big part of the show. I mean, that's
For sure.
big part of the storyline.
But I think-
I wouldn't call it minor.
Yeah, well, because I would say this, like, it's believable. I think their take on this is believable because, I mean, we know, as having played Fallout before, we know Vault-Tec is this evil corporation doing god-awful things to people who they sold vaults to. And so it's not, again, it wasn't hard to believe. It wasn't hard to kind of push that aside for me and accept this new canon for why the bombs fell, sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess in the sense that you put it, yeah, it doesn't affect my viewing or me playing the games.
Yeah,
it
at
doesn't.
all.
It doesn't.
Yeah. So that's why I consider it minor, I guess.
Did they leave it vague in the games or yeah? Okay.
Yeah, in the games, the
the-
bombs fell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't change anything.
They just added to
just
the
added-
lore a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, it was always kind of just like
Yeah.
it was just an unfortunate thing. Like,
Yeah.
Russia and America were just
Right.
always kind of there.
Yeah.
And China was kind of like if America goes to war, we'll go to war with them, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
we're not friends. Just remember, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, as much as Todd Howard was involved, I trust the process and the idea of what
Yeah.
they put in.
Yeah, because I'm sure they ran it like, hey, we want to make Vault-Tec this, and he was just like, whoa, okay, yeah, sure, But he better be fucking working on Elder Scrolls 6, is all I'm saying. So it better have been a really quick email. He said, yep, go for it, and that was it. That was
I don't have time to read the script. I'm a little busy with Elder Scrolls 6, but yeah, do whatever you think's best. No, it's yeah. Outside of that, I don't think I personally really have too many critiques. Honestly, some fun guest appearances. I think all of our main characters are good. I thought Walton Goggins as the Ghoul.
It took me a while to like Maximus. I think it was really tough in the beginning to even be rooting for him because
he's a coward.
Yeah. Well, it's that. I don't know if it was the luck aspect of the game.
Yeah, he had all the luck.
It's something that kept happening, but he was also being this kind of pretty selfish in his endeavors, and so it's really hard to get to like him. But then, obviously, he grows on you, and but
Who's
and you're just talking about like the most ridiculous thing to say. This is a kid who grew up, after
in a cult.
in between after the bombs dropped or whatever.
No, not it was during the there was a new capital for the new California.
Yeah. Right. The second
they
bomb
dropped
dropping.
another bomb on this place.
Right.
The actor's name is Aaron Clifton Moten.
Definitely, I would say he was probably the weakest of the main cast.
For sure.
And I think that could have been part of why we didn't like the character as much right away. Walton Goggins as the Ghoul and Ella Purnell as what was her name?
Lucy.
Or Goosey.
Or Goosey.
Goosey.
they really, I mean, the actor and actress, they both have very strong like leading role charisma. Where I think he kind of has more of kind of a, and I don't want to disparage him too much, but more of a supporting role charisma.
But I think it worked.
It did work.
Because the naiveness of what he grew up in, the Brotherhood, and they only taught him one way, and he had no idea what his penis could do. That was just
So
you want to make my cock explode?
Yeah.
That was it's so stilted and it's so weird, but it was hilarious.
I have never related to a character more in the history of my life when he was in that vault eating that bowl of popcorn and he saw chaos going on outside and he like looked down at his bowl of popcorn and was like, I would rather just stay here and eat this than go out there. And I was like, I'm in the show. I love this.
I love popcorn so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his character Maximus, I think he was supposed to be like, or at least to me, I was like, he's portraying a coward, right? I think he was a coward, and he thought that joining the Brotherhood of Steel would make him feel stronger, and it only made him feel more weak because he's kept getting kind of
Beat
pushed,
up.
and told like you're not going to be a knight, all this stuff, and then finally he kind of just thrown into the role of squire, and then it turned out that knights are kind of pieces of shit, and he's like, what, and that's kind of when we see, I think, the shift, and once he gets his power armor, he's like, okay, now I feel invincible, and it was less cowardly, and I think we saw that too because finally he turns around and tries to beat up those kind of ruffians in the town
Oh,
that were fucking
in
with his
Philly.
power armor. Yeah, in Philly. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but when he first gets it on his first interaction with
Yeah.
it, trying to do good, like, sorry, he was fucking my chickens.
Yeah. They're such funny. They're such funny things.
We're on video, so just keep going.
Okay.
Oh god.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many such funny lines. Like Lucy talking to her cousin, like, we weren't going to be very good sexual compatible being cousins, okay? It's fine growing up, having a little fun. Oh, so
It was very. They did such a good job of blending kind of our three characters because you got Walter Goggin, you got the Ghoul who was very serious, and that's the like very melodramatic, serious, intense part of the show where you meet with Lucy, which is kind of the innocence of humanity, and then you get Maximus, which is kind of this naive, person. But the way they blended all those characters and the stories, and not even just that, but like the theme and kind of the atmosphere surrounding all of them all together, I think is a huge testament to the writing and directing of the show.
Yeah,
it was very well done.
I loved it all. I kudos for like the idea you were able to get a show to focus around the severed head of some guy for
that's
the last 5 episodes.
That seems like isn't like severed heads like a big thing or at least when I played Skyrim, it always seemed like there's always like a thing where I had to do something with a severed head. At least in 3 different instances, it seemed like.
Todd Howard loves severed heads.
Yeah, it's something like that. So I haven't played in Fallout yet, but it seemed like something that definitely would be part of a quest.
It was fun. It was funny how with like Lucy, there was like multiple, like she's like this innocent, nice, vault dweller, and how like she would immediately just like, oh, I guess this is what I have to do. Like,
Okie
dokie, okie dokie, got to cut this guy's head off, and then also too like where they killed the other ghoul, and she's like, you got to carve up his ass, and she's like, oh, okay, I guess I have to do it. And it's just like
this ass jerky ain't gonna make itself.
I will say though, but before that was a very intense scene with the ghoul who's turning and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
And it just the whole conversation all the way to the like. I mean, do you remember the smell of pie or whatever? He's like, oh yeah, that's my mother. Bam!
There's
Like
a very of mice and men sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
Lenny, look at the
Yeah.
think of the rabbits, Lenny.
yeah, it was very that. And again, it's this satirical, almost comical world, and then there was so much of this kind of deep theological commentary underneath.
And yeah, because I think especially the flashbacks. Oh my gosh,
That not being my favorite part of the show, but I loved all of the flashbacks.
Yeah,
with the
because I
ghoul.
think that really did bring in a lot of that, like how like terrible the world was even prior to the bombs. Like, the vault dwellers all think that it's this happy, like we're gonna save the world, even though we get it revealed that the people they're going to put into power were the ones that
Destroyed
did it
the
all.
world.
Yeah, and seeing the ghoul's whole life kind of fall apart as he finds out his wife is a part of this whole conspiracy, and essentially,
As a terrible person.
yeah, for sure. It's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. The flashbacks I think really helped tie that's the silliness of Lucy and Maximus kind of doing that stuff, and then being like, okay, yeah, no, this was they destroyed the world just so they can stay in power and kind of keep it. There'd be nobody else to take it.
The Hank Henry foreshadowing thing was done. It was fascinating how they played that. There was a small comment earlier in one of the earlier episodes where they were talking about like, oh, I thought his name was Hank. And like, no, he goes by Henry or whatever. And then having that reveal at the end there of it being her assistant, I thought that was fascinating. But there was Tim, I know you wanted to touch base on the the Amazon comparison
the irony,
to Vault-Tec was very rich.
Yeah. I think it was definitely just a little wink there in that whole scene when they're in the war room or whatever. They're like Dr. Strangelove sort of war room.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so that was fun. Like just all these people just like, ooh, we gotta play with people's lives even more than we already do.
And it's actually kind of terrifying because it's like that we talked about. It's the irony of Amazon releasing this commentary that is about it. But then on a super meta level, that just shows how powerful Amazon actually is. It's because this is what we're doing. You can make fun of it all you want. And we are still profiting off of you as you try to take shots at us.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. When we have this much money, we don't
power.
have to care.
Yeah. Oh, we made a thing that you can just press a button and have it to you sometimes the next day. Usually not always, but yeah, you're gonna use it because it's so fucking convenient. Yeah, you like it. You can say you hate it, but you like it.
Tim, did you have any other critiques than Woodman's?
I don't have any off the bat. Like I said, the only thing I had was that I thought I wasn't gonna like Maximus, but no, that turned out not to be the case. And then, God, I love the mutant vault where they
Chris Parnell is the overseer
with the Cyclops Chris Parnell. Yeah, yeah. That was just the slow build to where she's like, oh, this is awesome, and then she's like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And then them just herself discovering, what other vaults were about. Not everyone was the same, and and you find out how the mutant axolotl got into the into the water outside. He's like, that was my great grandfather or whatever. It's like,
oh my god,
that the way they made that thing, it was so fucking creepy.
All the fingers, the human fingers that were like
inside.
Oh, I was like, oh
man,
God,
it
is
is
real body horror stuff right there.
Uh-huh.
As much as I love this show, I think it would have been an interesting idea for a television series to just explore self-contained stories of different vaults.
Oh,
I think that'd be fascinating. Where one season is just this what's crazy shit going on in this vault, and next season is a whole new cast of characters in a separate vault and what's going on there. I don't even know if that's a critique, but it's kind of, I don't even want to, disappointment is such a strong word, but it was some of my favorite parts of playing in the Fallout video games is exploring and discovering these new vaults and all the craziness that happened in this vault compared to this vault compared to this vault. I love that so much, and it almost feels like a missed opportunity to make a serialized show based off of that, where it's every season is
new
something
number.
different. Yeah, a new vault number with new characters doing something so insane that
and like they could, you could have your own kind of unique storylines, and then you could like even try and make some of the stories that us players know, because again, it's more environmental story. A lot of them is like environmental storytelling, and then you get little little things to read. about what happened, the vault logs and stuff like that of
Yeah.
like their daily life and stuff, but you only get a handful of entries in that, and you kind of have to just piece it together yourself. So yeah, I would love like a little side series or something where they just do. This was Vault 25, and this is the one where they made a woman the overseer and the rest were men, and by the way, this is a real thing.
Yeah, this is
where she basically had them fight to the death for her and stuff, and then there's another one where it was one man was the overseer and the rest were women, and they overthrew him and killed him and just used him, or didn't kill him, or killed him but kept his semen and used that for reproductive stuff.
Oh.
There's so many stories you can tell.
They're all
Yeah.
insane.
Mhm.
I will say I loved this new like 3 vaults kind of intermingled with one another, because I don't recall another vault setup like that in the games, at least.
Yeah, at least not in 3 and 4. I'm not familiar with Fallout 1 and 2, but yeah.
But I thought that was super cool. This idea, you have Vault 33, where it's like Lucy and stuff. You have Vault 32, and that's where the overseers for Vault 33 come from.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. And then you have Vault 31, and how the overseers also went to Vault 31, but they ended up finding out what was happening, and then
it was definitely a cool dynamic.
I love it.
A
I
new
thought it was
dynamic
super
of
cool.
vaults that we've never seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, having or just to, I guess you definitely when he discovered Vault 31 or what was going on with it, it was like I feel like I saw it coming, but I don't. It was like
Yeah.
Well,
It was like-
The way it's blended with the flashbacks. though,
yeah,
is well
right.
done.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like they gave it away, but it was like no, okay,
Yeah, and I
That's
think
pretty cool.
I think anybody could have. I guess for us who have played the games,
Yeah.
we were like, Vault 31's fucked. Like, and there was
Yeah.
definitely not rapes,
Right.
please. But I'm sure for like new fans of the series, like new fans of Fallout, have like as they're kind of learning about all this stuff, and they see Vault 31, I'm like, oh my gosh, like Raiders got in there, that's crazy. And then as the story develops, I would love, it's super funny to see all that.
Well, it's another successful video game adaptation in the books.
Yeah. Well, what about that cliffhanger at the end, huh?
Oh yeah, with the New Vegas.
Him flying in, and there's New Vegas in the distance.
Which New Vegas is like maybe the most popular game amongst Fallout fans, I'd say.
Yeah, and it had everything working against it too, which is even
Mhm.
more credit to Obsidian with what they were given, and
Yeah, because
Time frame they were supposed to make.
virtually a spin-off game.
a spin-off game that they had a super limited amount of time to do. And people criticize Bethesda's character creation stuff, but they ran away with it and made a masterpiece for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have anything else left on the show. I think it's great. It's phenomenal. It makes you excited for. I mean, it did a job.
Yeah.
People, sales for Fallout. I mean, they came out with a new Fallout 4 update and a remaster version. And
76 got a big update and has seen the most concurrent players.
yeah, player numbers
in
are
forever.
jumping up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so the show did its job, and it did it successfully. Because not only did it tell a good story and make you care about the show and the characters in the world, it also made you want to go, oh, I want to go dive back in here and play this video game. And ultimately, I mean, it's a business, so they succeeded in
They didn't. Yeah.
creating more money for themselves.
And I just hope, please, Todd, don't let the success of the Fallout show make you prioritize Fallout 6 or Fallout 5 over Elder Scrolls 6.
We beg
please.
you. We beg you.
Please. Like, I will play it. I
will happily
buy
play
it.
it.
I'll pre-order it, and I'll love it, I'm sure. But please, for the love of
We
God.
want Elder Scrolls. No, I think they're too far into Elder Scrolls 6 now to be like, well, we gotta halt this immediately, and because even if they stopped everything and started doing Fallout 5, we're still thousands of years away from that coming out. So.
I'll need to be cryogenically frozen in a vault.
Yeah, in a vault, in
hopefully
order to play.
Yeah.
Fallout 5. And maybe even Elder Scrolls 6. Who knows?
This is where we're getting our synergy with Amazon. This is going to be a real thing. This is why they got together with Bethesda in order
Yep.
to keep playing their games. You will eventually
You're gonna have to buy Vault.
You're going to have to buy your cryogenic freezing from Amazon in order to keep playing these forever. So there you go.
Take my money.
I will happily give it.
Do experiments on me as long as I get to play the game. Okay.
Corporate synergy. It's finest. All right.
Well, you guys got anything else to finish up the review?
I don't know. I just thoughts, theories on what's going to happen next season.
Nope, I'm a
Season-
very
don't
dumb-
Don't anyone do that?
I'm a
Yeah.
dumb consumer.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just in it for the ride. I don't think. I don't plot.
Yeah.
I emotionally react to whatever's happening on screen.
Which is a beautiful thing, by the way, Tyler.
It is.
I think that's the best way. Too many people set expectations that are.
Oh, this wouldn't actually happen. It's just ignorant. I just live in ignorant bliss.
No, I'm excited for a new Vegas idea, and canonically this should have happened after the events of Fallout New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how they
We get to
incorporate that.
Pick back up where
Right.
the world left off.
Yeah. So it'll be very curious to see what's all going on there.
I'm just excited to see the Ghoul and Lucy travel together.
Yeah.
That's a fun companionship there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Dogmeat.
And Dogmeat.
Did they get Dogmeat back at the end? Or is he with them?
Yeah, I think so.
Don't remember.
Yeah, I
not
think
sure.
they were crawling out of the vault and Dogmeat was there. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
I'm rewatching it
Okey-dokey.
already, so.
Are
Yeah,
you?
well,
oh yeah.
Well, I'm rewatching it with my wife, but
Mm.
she's being really slow about it, and I was like, well, now I'm just
Why
gonna have to
are-
watch it again.
Why are women like that?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
She's watching Netflix shows, and she's prioritizing that over it. So.
Which makes zero sense. There's no way those are anywhere near as
The
good
quality.
as Fallout.
Apparently, baby reindeer's a thing now. I don't know.
What?
Baby reindeer is the big Netflix show.
Well,
where it's going.
that's a different discussion for a different
I
time.
don't know.
That could be the terrible
is-
thing we review.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we could review a
I don't know.
terrible show.
Apparently, it's getting it's raved. But anyway, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
Any parting words on Fallout, Tim?
GarageBand just crashed.
For the video, any parting words, Tim?
Wait. Any parting words, Tim, for Fallout?
Can't wait for season 2. I don't know. In probably 2 years. So
Well, they've already approved it, yeah, but
Yeah.
the
it's gonna take a bit. It's gonna
Yeah.
take a bit.
the life cycle of creating any television shows, movies, video games now is just we just wait.
Yeah.
Perpetual waiting.
Maybe fall 2025. Maybe
Whoa.
2025.
Let's just
Fall.
That'd be crazy.
If they
That's
got
possible.
started on it like
yeah,
this
if they
summer,
started
I mean,
production.
it's possible, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm
It'll
down.
be fun.
It makes me excited for the future video game adaptations and that there are people who actually can successfully do it.
Yeah. Who care about the source material? Who want input?
Who
from,
respect the source material.
Yeah, literally bring in people from the game
Yeah.
to help them, to just, hey, we want to do this. What do you think? And they get that input, and it's just
Looking at
it
you.
works, obviously. Yeah.
Looking at you, 343. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, 343
PUBG,
can't even make their own games, so
Yeah.
343 needs to figure out how to make a Halo video game first before they're interacting with a TV show because 343 doesn't even know how to handle their own source material that they own. That's
Very
a
true.
tangent beside the
give
point.
it
I
give it back to
apologize.
Bungie.
Yeah.
Do they even exist? I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Bungie's
Okay.
very.
Oh yeah, that's
successful
right. They have Destiny.
Destiny,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. That's
They have
right,
a,
yeah. They moved on.
love-hate
They
relationship
moved.
with their
They
fans.
moved on. Yeah. Right. All right.
So.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, Nolan family, and thank you, Amazon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elon Musk, for the show. We appreciate it.
Elon.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeffrey. Jeffrey Bezos.
Sorry, I get my my billionaire owners
I know.
intermingled. They'll blend.
They all look alike too.
All right. Well, that was Fallout the show.
Yay!
Yay!
Until season 2.
Oh, bye-bye. Oh, nice.